Hello, I am going to make a video today about Bitcoin finding a low using price metrics. There's a couple of other videos I'd like to make as well. But let's just get into it and you guys can, make your own decisions here. So let's start off with a couple of moving averages. So this yellow line here is the 50-week exponential moving average. This red one is the 203-day exponential moving average. This white one is the 20-week exponential moving average. You can ignore the white one for now. We'll start with these two. So what you'll notice is that once these things cross, a 56% drawdown. Here, 52, 53%. Here, about a 61%. So around 50 to 60% is usually where the bottom is. And then here there's no crosses. And then this white one, so here is the Bitcoin power law corridor. There's so many of these out there, so many different log regression ones. I like this one because it's a bit more conservative. I did not make any of these indicators, just so you know. So you can use these, and these are all free that you can find on TradingView. And then, so here's another one where you can notice where once the 20 exponential moving average crosses into this green area, which is below the regression line, you'll notice that usually the bottom is in, or it's in pretty soon. So here it's marked our local bottom so far. Here it was within a week. And here the bottom was actually already in 2 weeks earlier. And then I think also, yeah, so it was a few weeks earlier. So that's that one. We can also just look at this power law corridor as well. So far it's done a pretty good job marking the bottoms and the tops previously. This one, not so much. The other thing we're going to do is look at the pi cycle top. You may have heard of this, and you may have, never thought to use it for also predicting bottoms potentially. But if we look, so it doesn't work for 2011. I'll show you what I'm about to do here. If you take the percentage difference from the long length and the short length, the bottom was in at around 64%. Here, 62. And here, 58 so far. So you will notice that it went from 64 to 62 to 58. If we were to put in a slightly lower low, because these have actually gone further apart, it would be 63, 64. And it wouldn't have to go super, it could just, go to like 16, 17K or something. Obviously, a lot of people now, because we're on a little bit of a rally, everyone is saying that the bottom, or more people are now saying the bottom is in, and that's probably correct actually. But this video is to try to help you, so that way you can be buying down here and not be buying up here after the pumps already happened. And hopefully what will happen after this is we'll get a higher low. So maybe this will come up and then come back down, and it'll form a base, and then we can continue on. A lot of people are saying, well, what about the macro? I have some other videos planned that I think I'll make about those things. But for right now, we're just going to use price metrics to determine a potential bottom. So here is what's called the Chaikin money flow. I'm using the 60-week, and this is an accumulation distribution indicator. It incorporates price as well as volume. You can look up what the formula is and everything, but I'm not going to go into that with this video. So what you'll notice is that once it goes negative, it tends to be pretty close to the bottom. So here in 2011, it went negative, marked the bottom exactly. Here, it marked the bottom like 2 weeks later, or at 2 weeks after it went negative, the bottom was in. Here, actually, the bottom was already in, but it was still a pretty good time to buy. And then here, it was also a pretty good time to buy, and it was actually right before the bull market. And then here we are again, within 1 week. You can see that it actually technically went negative here on the open of this candle. So most people use the 50 for longer term time frames, but I'm using the 60 just because it fits better, so keep that in mind. And I fit it to previous data. All these indicators I was actually building within, or not building, but you started utilizing throughout here. So I didn't like forward test it to fit this. It just, so far it's working out well. And then here's a fairly similar indicator to the Chaikin money flow. This is the MFI, the money flow index. I'm actually using, so it's an indicator that was created. It's called Fu Manchu cipher _B divergences, and there are a whole bunch of different settings in here. I have everything unchecked except for the RSI plus M. I don't even think this does anything really, but it's really what we're looking at is this show MFI, and it's just 60, 150, 2.5. I think these are the default settings. But basically, this is pretty similar to the Chaikin money flow. It'll give you somewhat similar results, except it's a leading indicator, or it doesn't lag, or it gives you faster, earlier time. So basically, it went red here. I don't know if that made sense. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. It'll give you an earlier signal. So this one was about like 6 weeks or so, 6 or 7 weeks. Didn't actually go red at all back here. So if you want to start like DCAing or something, whatever your strategy is, I don't give financial advice. Another good time. And then it also went red right here and started going red here and actually flipped back green. So yeah, there's that one. Next one is the BTC risk. Again, I didn't create this indicator, but you can just look it up on TradingView. Someone else created it. And the way that this works is, so for length 1, I have 3, then 50, and then 7.54. The reason why this is 7.54 is because if you change this to 1, this level up here becomes 7.54. So you just input 7.54 so that way you can make this up here 1. But what you'll notice is that, so it's also pretty good for predicting tops, or has been so far. But today we're talking about bottoms only. And once it gets below 0.07, that tends to be a good time to buy. So let's go into this a little bit more. So in 2011, at the time the bottom was in, it crossed 0.07. Here, 0.07. Here, this one actually went a little bit lower between, this is 0.05, 0.06, so really between 0.06 and 0.07. And here we are today, 0.07. Or this one actually a little bit above 0.07, but you get the idea. This one's a pretty cool one. So this one is Depth House volume extension. I think Depth House is a company. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They don't even know who I am or anything. But it's just an interesting. I was looking for a capitulation indicator, and this one seems to do a pretty good job. And this is just the default settings, although I changed the colors around a little bit. So here, capitulation. What you're looking for is a green bar with a value above 1. So here we have a green bar with a value above 1. So far, a local bottom. Green bar, a value above 1. This was actually the summer accumulation period. Green bar with a value above 1, right after COVID. Green bar with a value above 1. Had a few more weeks to go, but still pretty good. And then there's one more right here. Green bar with a value above 1. Every single time there's been a green bar with a value above 1, it's been a decent time to buy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all cycle bottoms plus the summer low. Next one. So this is just the RSI. A lot of people use this. You don't even have to use any other indicator, but it's marked bottoms pretty low, or pretty often. So here it didn't actually make it below 30 in 2011. Here, the first time it crossed below 30, it was actually the exact bottom. Here, crossed below 30, exact bottom. And first time it crossed below 30 was right here. So far, our local bottom. Here's just the RSI with a 50 exponential moving average applied to it. So 50, this doesn't actually matter. It's the Bollinger Band standard deviation. I don't even know. It doesn't like actually affect anything. So I don't even know why it's same thing with these. Like I don't know why it's in here. But anyways, so I have the RSI unchecked, and then RSI based EMA, 50 EMA, 14. And what you'll notice is that kind of a similar story here. And I had this set actually at 48. 2011 didn't quite hit it. Here, so once it was below 48, I have 48 for this reason. So it includes all the data. And then 48, so we're below. So usually sometime, you know, when this RSI is below 48, it's usually a good accumulation period. And then the final thing I want to look at is just this Bitcoin rainbow chart. You've probably seen it before. If you haven't, well, let's take a deeper look into it. Every single time it's hit the dark blue, it tends to be a good accumulation period. That's where we are today. It's actually good for also spotting tops, even though it may not look like it. Maybe I'll go into that in another video. But that is pretty much it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's also this one, this rainbow. Not as good. Let me just try to... Okay, so this one not holding up as well. It's a bit too aggressive. So it's starting. It actually broke it down slightly in Kobe and it's starting to break it down here. Although, if this does end up being the bottom, then maybe the next cycle bottom will be just slightly lower. Like so, for example, this is extended by 20% or so. Maybe the next one will be 30% or something. It's hard to say. All right, and then these dashed lines are just the halvings. But that's all I wanted to say in this video. I'll make a couple other videos about on-chain stuff, Bitcoin dominance, and a whole bunch of other things that people seem to argue about, but all you have to do is look at certain metrics and you'll know. All right.